Okay, hi Kimbo.
Hello.
So I am back in New York for Fashion Week, and I'm recording with Kimberly
And
again.
Art Week.
And
Also
Art Week.
Armory Week.
I did actually take part in Art Week.
You did.
Which I'm proud. I feel very like cultured. I feel very educated.
Yes.
Just an elevated style of life that I'm living
Yes.
lately. That was actually so fun. It was more fun than, a lot of the Fashion Week stuff I've gone to.
Yeah, I took Payton to a couple of openings in
Mhm.
Chelsea. They have like all the art openings, and
Yeah.
it's like not even so much about the art when it's opening nights. It's like such good people watching. So
It is.
Payton was like a great addition to the clan.
And also, Kimberly knows so much about art that I'm like, I have a video of you talking about a piece and you're like swaying your arms back and forth, and it's like so intense. I think it's so interesting.
I'm like a very like what's the word? Visceral speaker.
Yeah.
Like I like speak with my whole body, which is actually, I've noticed that the most doing podcasts with Payton, because like I feel like I'm in jail.
As you're pointing to the mic,
with, like the microphone in front of me. Like I don't have very much like lateral
Yeah, I got you.
radius.
Well, I've had the best time. I mean, Fashion Week has been, there's some highs, there's some lows. I went to a party last night.
Imagine.
I won't say the brand because I genuinely like the brand, but I've never experienced the mean side of the fashion industry. Like I thought when people talked about like, oh, everyone was a bitch there, I thought they meant like, I thought they just were taking things personally. You know what I mean? Like you're too wrapped up in like, no one gives a fuck about you. So like you don't care. Like the people don't care about you. So you think they're mean. I went to a party last night. I have never encountered such a large group of just not friendly people in my entire life. It was my first time encountering that in New York, and I am forever changed.
Like were they just not engaging, or were they
Definitely not engaging?
Just,
if you engage with them, very standoffish. And there were so many people there. Okay, so like, and I guess everyone kind of thought they were someone.
Were
maybe
you solo?
No, I was with my friend Josie, and we were just like partying around. We were having the best time regardless. Good. But anyways, that was very interesting. And today I've like basically taken all off because I just slept for
I thought you were going to say because you were like upset.
Oh no.
I was like, oh,
I need to regroup.
That's terrible.
No, it's not that dramatic.
I feel like it's the same in the arts, like with events. It's super hit or miss. Somebody actually gave me a book recently that was like anonymous submissions of like absurd stories that happen in the art industry. And like every single story I can relate to so hardcore.
Yeah.
And they were all like, it's like if you go to an event, you either go out and you meet the most absurd, cool, fun people and have like the most random, fun ball of a night of your life.
My favorite kind of
favorite. And it's always like random and just like psychotic and like interesting, or it's like such a flop that you go home and you're like, am I a loser?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, we're engaging with other people and they're all just like, we don't know y'all.
I've been there.
So anyways, we're going to talk about confessions. Maybe that's my confession. I was a loser.
That's a good confession.
Publicly.
We're
going to talk about confessions today. And I felt like we should start with Kimberly's confession that she brought to the table. And then we're going to go with some anonymous confessions that were given to me by listeners.
So I like had a hard time thinking of a confession because honestly, like the other day I was at dinner and we were doing like fun dinner table questions. And I think that one of my superpowers is that I'm a little bit immune to being embarrassed.
Yeah.
And I think it's because like I've just kind of had an embarrassing life. Like I feel like a lot of embarrassing things have happened to me, and like nothing, I don't know if embarrassing is even the right word, just like absurd and chaotic.
Yeah.
So I feel like if I ever listen to people hear embarrassing stories, I'm kind of like child's play. Like, like I 100% happened to me or worse.
I mean, there are some that are like, it's not even embarrassing stories. It's just like something maybe bad that you did.
Yeah.
Or like, you know what I mean? Like
a confession.
Yeah. I feel like I publicly share confessions on the internet constantly.
Yeah.
So like things that are very embarrassing that happened that I didn't want anyone to know, I say into a mic or into my camera.
Right.
Because usually it's just me and my camera, me and my mic, and then I forget that everyone else can hear it. So I'm gonna think on mine because I feel like there's some in here that I've crowdsourced that I can definitely relate to.
Surely there are, and I feel like I'll come up with more as we go. Like when I hear other people's, I feel like I'll either be like, oh, I have a worse one, or like, oh, I've done that, or something similar. So mine's not really like a confession. It's more of just like when I think back of one of the most absurd experiences that like I can't really think about without like belly laughing. Like if I really get into it, I don't even know if I can get through the whole story without laughing. But I don't know have you ever had vertigo before?
Yes.
Like real vertigo where you like can't really function?
Well, I've had it for a split second where I was walking this was recent, actually in Houston
It's
Galleria.
really scary.
I was like
Oof, it's a
walking
terrible place to
straight
have
and I
vertigo.
like was on my phone and all of a sudden I was like 6 feet to my right,
Yeah,
like falling. Yeah.
It's
But I
like
caught
everything
myself.
goes like this. It's literally like an Inception when he's in the hotel room.
Yeah, yeah.
And like the whole world is turning and like you can't stop it. So I get occasionally, like knock on wood, I haven't had one in a long time. I get vertigo spells, but they last for like a day.
Okay.
So you're like completely debilitated.
A whole day.
Yeah, like I couldn't get out of bed. Like it was horrible. And it's when like something gets dislodged in your ear and it throws off your equilibrium. So basically the right side of your entire body is moving double time and the left side of your body is moving at half pace. So if you go like this, your right side thinks you spun twice and your left side is still.
Okay.
So it's like fucked.
Okay.
But
So is that the part of your confession?
that's like the premise of my confession. That's like the preface of the story.
Oh no.
There's like kind of three things that happened that were just like ridiculous. The first thing was that at the time I was like dating this doctor, like going on dates with this doctor, and I had to cancel on the date because like I had vertigo and we weren't really on phone talking terms yet, and I had to call him on the phone because like you can't text, like there's just you can't like you can't read, like your fingers, it's really debilitating.
Yeah.
And he was like asking me questions like, because he's a doctor, so he kind of went into like doctor mode. And he was like, "Are you having nausea, diarrhea?" And I was like, "What's that?" Like, no, of course not.
Never.
And I'm like, I don't have like bathroom humor really. Like, I was raised in a household where like the F word is like FIRT. Like, I don't think I've like ever really say that word very often.
Also, it's literally the most uncomfortable word to say.
I'll say fuck.
Yeah.
But not the other F word. Like,
yeah, I can't. It's hard for me to say that in front of like Joe.
yeah, like that's just a no for me. Like, I don't think my mom's ever burped in front of my dad. Like the fact that I just said burp is kind of like, Kimberly, like keep it together. But anyway, so that was just the first. That was just like demoralizing for me to have a man that I was dating ask me that question. Obviously, I said no, which I wasn't.
And obviously, he's not judging because he's a doctor.
Yeah, he was just like being a doctor.
Yeah.
So then a day passes, nothing helped. I'm in a 5-floor walk up in Chelsea. So like I couldn't go to the doctor. Like I couldn't make it like really anywhere, even to like get water. So my parents found this random doctor to come to my apartment. It was like 2 days in, and this like
2 days into your vertigo spell?
yeah, I like
Oh
it was
my
horrible.
God.
And at that point it had gotten a little bit better to where like I wasn't absolutely miserable, but like I couldn't get up.
Yeah.
And yeah. So because I couldn't get up,
You're getting like bed sores at this point? Jesus.
no, my bed's very fluffy, Payton.
Okay.
No
Oh my
bed sores
God.
over here. But I hadn't gotten out of my like floor length cheetah nightgown because that's what I was unfortunately in when I had the spell.
Yeah.
I also hadn't looked in the mirror in like, I don't know, I guess now 48 hours. So this man had to come to my apartment and like to get rid of vertigo, they have to like flip you in odd positions. So this man was like flipping me around
On
my
your bed,
own
too?
bed.
With
It
your
was
cheetah
horrible. It was horrible. And that's not even the really embarrassing part. That's just like to set the scene for
Yeah.
you of like this whole experience. So then I had to start going to physical therapy. And like really one of the only times I'm just like not athletic. So I've never like, I feel like in high school it's cool to be like, yeah, I'm in physical therapy because I tore my ACL in lacrosse. Like that's just like not me.
Yeah, yeah.
So like the only time I've been to physical therapy was for vertigo, but it was like with other people who had real injuries.
Still in your two different nightgown.
And there was this one guy who worked at the physical therapist who was like so hot. Like every time, sometimes he would like stretch me at the end, which like, I don't know why they even stretch you at the end of like vertigo practice. Because it's just like brain work. Like it's not anything physical. But there was one that was really cute. And one day my like guy was gone. So this guy filled in. His name was Jason. I'm shameless. Like if he happens to hear this, like, hey, Jason.
Hey, Jason, I'm still into you.
Still into you. But Jason, it was like the day where they train like the connection between your eyes and your brain. So I had to do all these exercises with him, and like I'm just gonna name a couple of them. They're all like really embarrassing.
Okay.
Picture yourself, picture the cutest guy that you don't know. Like I don't know him, he doesn't know me, and like my face got red every time we talked. And picture that this is what you're doing with him. I would sit in a chair and he would sit across from me and he would show me flashcards really fast that would have a picture or something on it. And I would have to turn my head. Oh, sorry, I forgot there was a mic. I'd have to turn my head around and then whip my head back around and really quick say what was on the flashcards. So I'd be like, dog. And like, apple. It was so embarrassing. It
For?
was like a long, like it was an hour-long session.
Oh, vertigo practice
Was so hard. And there was one exercise where it'd be like a card with a word that was like, it would say yellow, but yellow was written in pink, and you'd have to say the color, not the word.
Oh God.
And like, honestly, the most embarrassing part of that one, besides the fact that I was like yellow, was that I like couldn't do it because like my brain was so like
mush
fucked up.
Yeah.
What's that Euphoria quote? Something
know.
about your brain being scrambled.
Yes. Yes.
And then the most, like the grand finale was that I had to, and I'm not coordinated to begin with. I had to take a ball, like a kickball, and stand up and turn around and then turn back around and throw in the ball
To him.
Yeah. And then I had to turn around. We like reversed it and I had to catch the ball. And I like can't catch.
I don't know. Picture you doing this. So
I like can't catch to begin with.
Right.
And it was like if someone had watched this happen. It was so embarrassing. Oh, and there was one exercise where I had to like lean against a wall and like roll against the wall with my body. I've never seen Payton laugh.
Is there music going on in the background? It's just
like elevator music, like do 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 do, and people around me are like actually doing physical therapy, like with weights and
like Joe goes to physical therapy because he got from
tell
like,
him to be nice to the vertigo
patients
because it's so embarrassing. And then at the end of the session, I'm like, bye, Jason.
Number.
Oh my God.
That's so funny.
So that's like the closest I have to like a confession. I mean, I have so many confessions actually. But like that story, every now and then it pops in my head and like I can never really think about it without laughing out loud because it was so bad.
God, I want a video of this so
Oh
badly.
man, maybe I can find some like tutorials for
that. Was like a funny life one because I feel like a lot of the ones that we got to read today are like relationship related and they're like
fun.
Some are bad and some are like, oh my God, I'm like, am I okay?
I know. I like feel like my makeup is now fucked. I was really worried about getting through that story. It's so funny.
Okay. Kimberly's confession is she has vertigo. She had to go to PT for vertigo.
For like
I know there's
8
someone else
weeks.
listening to this who had to do this.
Yeah, please let me know. And also, please let me know, like, what did you do? Because, like, vertigo sucks.
It really sucks. I literally had it, like I said, I had it for 3 total seconds, maybe. And I thought, like, I questioned everything.
You feel like you're just dying. Yeah, you just feel like you're dying.
That is so wild. Whew. Yeah. All right.
Anyways.
All right. Some of these are shorter than others. And I feel like we can blow through some of them. Okay.
Kind of nervous.
The first one. I have a title for each one.
Oh, fun.
So it's just called Virginity.
Virginity, okay.
So in high school, I took my best friend's little brother's virginity.
Oh my God.
He was 2 to 3 years younger than me.
Wait, your best friend's
little brothers. He was 2 to 3 years younger than me. I was 15 and I think he was 13.
Wow.
13.
That is like, I hope that you didn't think that was like I don't know. I feel like when you're that young and you have sex, it's like not fun.
No. But also she's talking about it like she's like, I took it from him at 13 years old.
That's crazy.
I mean, she was 15, so obviously like nothing illegal is happening.
It's so funny because like when you're that young, you're like, oh yeah, he's 13, I'm 15. But like when you're this old, it's like, oh my God.
So I didn't kiss a boy until I was almost 18 years old.
My first kiss was when I was a freshman. Actually, my first kiss was, this is a good confession. My first kiss was actually a girl, and I've only I've only ever kissed boys since. But
who
did you kiss? Like a dare. I'll tell you after because I don't want to like out her. But it was it was truth or dare. She's married now.
Okay.
And that was the phase where everyone like had already had their first kiss in summer camp.
Yeah.
But, like no one had actually ever had their first kiss.
No. So after I had my first kiss, I went to like a smaller private school, so like everyone knew each other. The guy who kissed me first, like we were all drunk or something. He kissed me the next like Monday, like we went into school. One of the male English teachers that had this guy in class was like, well, we heard so-and-so had a good weekend, and like everyone in the class laughed.
Teacher said that?
Yeah. Like everyone knew my business back in high school.
That is so sad.
Because it was like a thing of like who was going to kiss.
Oh my God.
Was I ever going to kiss a boy? Really?
I feel like that stuff totally flied back then in the 90s.
Yeah.
It's like a teacher's just like, oh, I heard so-and-so got some
cool.
ass this weekend.
I mean, this was also like 2011.
That's crazy.
So that's
is
wild. Also, it was just like the nature of our school. It was just like way too intimate.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Texas, man.
I guess my confession is I was almost 18. I was almost 18 and then I had sex for the first time 3 months later. We accelerated.
That's insane.
Very quickly.
That's actually insane.
Mm-hmm. I was like, I got a little taste and I was like, it's time.
That's like,
and then I was a little bit of a slut for like a little while. We went from 0 to 100.
Yeah, that's like 0 to 100.
Mm-hmm.
Different people or the same guy?
Different people. Wow. I had this thing for a long time where if I had sex with someone or made out with somebody, like I couldn't look at them anymore. I was like, ew. Like I got the ick from every single one.
We've got to talk about the ick.
So actually Josie and I, because I'm staying with Josie right now, we're talking about the ick today because she was saying she got the ick before from a guy that she liked for a long time after the ick. And I was like, I think the ick is like, that's something you can't ever, like you don't come back from the ick.
You kind of don't come back from
continue
the
to
ick,
like him.
yeah.
But she was saying that she thinks the ick is like, there's different levels of ick. But I think
interesting.
Ick is just like the most level of grossed out.
I think it's just like when the chemistry literally changes in how you feel about someone. And like, it's like from something so small and then you're like, you can't look at them the same. Mm-hmm. Like I get the ick with girls sometimes, like same. Friends. I got the ick with basically every guy I ever hooked up with because I feel like you know how they talk about your body count? Yeah. And I think about mine, I'm like, no one ever made me finish. So like you had you're
sex.
Like 18.
I didn't have sex.
Yeah, you're like, you didn't
this whole time.
That didn't count.
I didn't even the first time I ever like came during sex with someone like quickly was Joe. And that's literally why we're dating. Maybe that's another confession.
That's actually a really good confession. I feel like a lot of girls can relate to that.
Yeah. And that's literally why we're dating, I think. I was literally like, I remember but having sex with guys that I was initially attracted to, like if I was drunk or something, and then like watching them have sex with me, I would just be like,
ick.
Oh,
ick.
This is
big
disgusting. Ick. Yeah. Like they're just gross. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
So I hate that there are men out there that think that like they're like, yeah, we banged, and I'm like, no,
we actually didn't.
You were not. Yeah, you got banged.
My soul left my body,
and I was disgusted the whole time.
Yeah.
There's a confession. There's a confession.
That's a good confession.
Okay, so I can't believe someone was having sex at 13, but you know it happens.
So the guy was 13, the girl was 15. Okay,
and 15's really young too. Okay, this one's called Poopy Girl.
Can relate
Poopy
already.
Girl. Okay. I'm gonna say
wait, booby girl?
Poopy girl.
Oh, can't relate.
Let's say you don't like bathroom language?
I cannot actually let the record show I can in no way relate. I thought it was booby girl.
I did say the P weird.
I was like,
it was hard for me to get it out of my mouth. Okay. At the beginning of my relationship with my boyfriend, I had an accident on his bed while cuddling in the morning. Oh, to be more specific, number 2. And she left a toilet emoji.
Oh my God.
My response was, I think I have my period. At this point, I have to mention, he didn't have a smell due to COVID.
Oh, that is so lucky.
So I changed the sheets and got so embarrassed. I am with that guy for 2 years now and never talked about it. At some point, I told him about it because I thought he knew, and it turns out he didn't.
You told him?
Yeah, because she was like, I thought he knew that was poop, and I was like, just kidding.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. You were cuddling?
Cuddling.
What kind? Like,
I really hope it wasn't spooning. I'm assuming
that's
it wasn't.
the only. I mean, that's what I assumed.
Yeah, hopefully.
But also, like,
it's like it's so just brown. It's brown period blood.
About like why, like how that happened while you were cuddling. Just like get up and go to the bathroom.
I mean, IBS. I feel like people have that.
That is nuts. That is bad. Wow.
So
good thing he didn't have a sense of smell.
Right. Perfect.
That's perfect.
So, but she told him. And so now he laughs and calls me Poopy Girl.
Oh, that's
what can
cute.
I say? It's a love story. P.S. It wasn't my fault. He gave me cold milk and a croissant, and hot girls have stomach problems.
I get that.
I might shit myself if
cold
I have
milk
a full glass of cold milk. I love a half and half moment in my coffee, but like I don't think.
Also, just like plain cold milk.
Croissant.
Are we just gonna glaze over that?
We have a lot of
plain
questions.
milk in the morning. No coffee
for a Poopy Girl. I have a confession that goes, it's the opposite of that, but my confession is when I was younger, I thought it was normal to poop once a week.
That's like not normal.
Not normal. And like struggle. during it.
So did you like get that corrected?
No, I like still have stomach problems, and Joe makes fun of me all the time.
Oh.
Like I have taken laxatives before, and they didn't work.
That's insane.
But we're getting it figured out. I've been trying to eat more greens.
It's all about the greens and coffee.
Also, growing up, I literally ate Wendy's every day of my life for like a solid 2 years. Yeah, because I did gymnastics.
Wait, that's like so not your personality.
No,
eat Wendy's every day.
But I'm also like we're from Texas, like, and also
fast
Florida.
Food. You're like after sports, fast food is like such a cultural.
It's
thing.
the only thing that was open. Like I would be done with gymnastics at like 9:30, and I would go get that. My family's just we're not healthy. We eat a lot of just like processed shit, but that probably has something to do with it. Yeah. And I was on antibiotics a lot when I was younger for an ear infection. I had like recurring ear infections, so I've been constipated my whole life. Like Joe's literally like
bad ear infection. They're like really painful.
Yeah, incredibly painful. I wake up. I was younger, and I feel like that just set the stage for just like
issues.
I was gonna say shitty problems, but opposite of shitty problems.
Wow, I can't get over this girl. That is like. You're a brave soul for telling him that. That's like a big thing to confess.
Well, also, you don't do bathroom talk. I will say with Joe and I, like...
Me? No.
Yeah. I told Joe, like, I do want to leave some mystery in the relationship. So whenever either of us has to use the restroom, I don't want to see him pee first, which I have seen before. But I'm like, I don't want to see that. I want you to see me pee. And we're not allowed to see each other poop. So like
absolutely
we always have to have 2 bathrooms in our apartments, and we call one of them the poop lounge. That's the designated area.
I wouldn't even call it that. I would just call it the lounge.
Oh, poop lounge. Well, like, Joe loves the term poop lounge.
That is like,
and one of us has to get on music, and the other one has to get on TikTok. If you're on the toilet, you can get on TikTok.
That's a beautiful system.
Yeah,
I will say that's a beautiful.
It's funny because like we know each other's pooping. You know,
like I don't even want anyone to. I'm just like so in my house. That's like. Not something we talk about. My parents have separate bathrooms, always have.
I think separate bathrooms is a solid idea.
I think it's the key to like keeping a marriage alive. Because think about it, even if you like go to dinner, isn't it nice to like have a little reveal before dinner instead of like getting ready next to your husband?
Well, yes.
Or like a wedding, you know, when you're like getting dolled up.
And also my shit is like all over the place. Like my shit. Like I know we're talking about my makeup is all over the place, so I feel bad for Joe when we share.
And that's like the secret sauce, like your shoes, your bags. Like I don't know. I feel like I want that stuff like to be a fun reveal. I don't want it to be like in their face.
You would want like a reveal every outfit.
Yeah, I do. Even if it's my pajamas. Even sometimes when I put on cute pajamas with my roommate, I'm like, notice anything?
You do a big reveal.
Yeah, I think that's like a nice key to like a relationship.
Yeah. I mean, some people it's not for some people, but I'm thinking about like, let's say childbirth. Like most people like shit during childbirth.
Oh my God.
I told Joe I don't want him watching the child come out.
Absolutely not.
I feel like that's a boundary that I need to set. And imagine
100%.
like if I told him that and like he decided he wanted to, and like in the middle of labor he's doing that, like going down there and doing what he wants, watching the child, and then I'm pooping.
Divorce immediately. I had a boyfriend who like I'm like really pee shy. I will say pee out loud. I'm really pee shy, and I had a boyfriend who thought it was really funny to like come in the bathroom while I was peeing because he knew that it made me mad, and I like it. I'm not kidding. It like caused some of our biggest fights. Yeah. This is a guy who like did some fucked up stuff. So like, I think that was the biggest fight we got into. I'd be like, get out.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
It's like embarrassing.
You also can get pee shy. Like, can I just have one moment to myself to
it's like kind of like the one time during the day where you're just like, no one's allowed to bug me.
Yeah, I can lock the door.
Sometimes I'm just like, I don't know, it's kind of nice. Sometimes like this is a confession and a pro tip. Okay. If you work in corporate America, which I kind of have don't, but like back when I worked in an office, now I'm remote. If I was having a really stressful day, every time I would wash my hands, like after going to the restroom, I would just like do a really long hand wash under the hot water.
Like how many?
And
like
in my head, I'd be like, "You're out of spa. You're out of spa." And I actually did it today in my apartment.
Yeah, daily affirmation.
It's a nice little like stress reliever.
Okay.
Just, like take the small moments.
All right. So the next one is called Sugar Baby. So
I love this one already.
I live in a new city that happens to be pretty affluent, and the vibe here is just much more elevated than what I'm used to, and I make shit money working in education. I had heard about how sugar daddy, sugar baby relationships here are pretty common, so I created a profile on seeking arrangements and had a few ongoing arrangements that really helped out a ton.
Wow.
I'll admit that it did not end up being the greatest thing for my mental health, so I'm not doing it anymore. But I also wouldn't discourage anyone else from doing it if they are in tune with their mental health and know to be safe and smart about it.
Interesting.
I feel like I'm more in the camp of like personally, it's hard for me to fake something. Like I feel like being a sugar baby, unless you're in a very specific situation, there is some element of like having to play along.
I want to know what that entails. Like, are you just like, I've heard of situations where people are just like, it's just texting.
Yeah.
I've heard of situations where like it's like phone sex. I've heard of situations where it's like actually going on dates and like having a relationship.
Well, I've heard like a whole spectrum of ways it happens.
Yeah.
And also I think a lot of people end up lying about it because they're ashamed too. So you never really know. Obviously my thing is, and the whole thing on Note to Self has been do whatever makes you happy. Just,
I'm
again,
kind of fascinated by it though. Like I have questions for this girl.
Yeah.
Like I want her on the podcast because like I want to know about your experience.
Should I have a sugar baby on the podcast?
100%.
I would like to know more information about it.
Me too. I also like no shame in that.
No,
like,
that's what I'm saying. Like
legal.
I hate to like when I first entered into saying what I felt about it. Like I say, for me personally, I don't think I'd be good at it, and I think it would stress me out more than it would help.
I just don't have the bandwidth.
Yeah,
I don't even have the bandwidth for like a boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the bandwidth for like a fake boyfriend.
But there is something about using men, and the men know they're being
kind
used.
Of rewarding.
You know what I mean? Like they want to be used for this.
You know what I was talking about with my friends the other day also is like feet pics. I feel like is like trendy right now.
Mm-hmm. See,
and
that's
we're like,
another thing I want to know.
Discover like the platform, and like I have kind of fucked up toes, and
You're
all
like,
my friends are like, "You've got to do feet pics." Like I broke my toe in the Hamptons a couple of weeks ago, like a month ago, and it was like really like gnarly.
Wait, so it was actually broken?
Yeah, it was actually broken. I mean, it was sideways and black.
Yeah.
Like it was 100% broken. Like I've been wearing these sneakers for a month now because they're the only shoe where like my feet don't hurt.
Yeah.
But I sent a video actually of like my foot in the group text of everyone that I was in the Hamptons with, and it was like a dramatic video where you like zoom in, then I like move my toe, and someone was like, "Kim, that's a moneymaker." Literally, like you've got to get rich off of that.
So is it still like sideways or something?
I mean, my toe's always been a little sideways. I'm not gonna lie, but it doesn't look. It looks a lot better.
Okay,
but my feet are like very niche. Like I feel like there's a market for my feet. I just don't know the avenues. I don't know how to do it safely.
If anyone knows, like, feel free to DM Kimberly. We need to know if it's worth it. Yeah, I think
and like, what's the price point too? Like, how much money are you making?
I think it's all over the place. You know what I mean?
Also, I have to tell this girl, the only jobs that literally matter in the entire world, and I'll knock myself in this one, is teachers and doctors.
Yeah.
So like, you're literally melding the minds of America or wherever you live.
Yeah.
And like your job matters so much. The rest of us are literally pushing around money.
Yeah.
We're like, I'll do money for this. Okay, now you'll do money for this.
I'll
like,
tell you this.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's so stupid.
I'm just a marketer.
I'm
literally just in marketing.
Your job is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like your
marketing.
life.
I mean, it's like I'm my own personal magazine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's 100% what it is.
And you just put out ads.
It's like kind of fascinating.
It's a fun job, I will say. There's obviously the drawbacks, but it's also really nice to be in charge of things.
Yeah.
Should we stop with the... Is that going to be picked up, you think, in the background? Okay.
Like sometimes I think about my job very like deeply in like an esoteric way, and I'm like, people pay me to look at a board where somebody mushed around colors and tell them how much it's worth and where it should go in their house. Like that's
so
really weird.
Dumb and unnecessary.
It's so weird.
I will say, besides doctors, because I feel like they make a pretty good salary depending on what kind of doctor you are and your situation. My dad was a fighter pilot forever, and teachers and fighter pilots make a similar salary.
I didn't know.
And my dad came. He in the Air Force as a pilot, you do make more than just like someone working in the Air Force who's not. But my dad went to school. He got his majors, or he got his major was essentially rocket science, and his master's in aeronautical engineering or something.
That's
so like
nuts.
A literal rocket scientist, and he like went to war, and he got him and teachers made the same amount of money. They're melding the minds of America, you know?
And they're like protecting America. Yeah. Like I actually, and I know Joe's going to kill me for saying this, but like, and meanwhile, there are people running around on a field, like
but
banking.
He understands why that's dumb too.
It's great. You know? I mean, I know they work so hard, and like, I'm so glad Joe's doing well.
There's demand. You know what I mean? Like people want to watch it. So as long as there's demand, there's going to be the ability to do that for a job. But it sucks. Like I wish there was a better way to compensate people who are doing the really important work.
They're really important.
It like creates the infrastructure of our world.
And like my sister's a teacher. I've been to her class once, and I was like, I would not last 2 minutes in here. No. I didn't last 2 minutes. I was like, these kids are so fucking
I can't even
annoying.
sit in here.
I was like, all right, that was really fun. I gotta go.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you're
Like,
in
it's
a
hard.
silent art gallery.
Yeah. Like
a bunch of, like,
literally going
British
to the
people.
bathroom
Yeah.
to wash my hands for extra long so no one talks to me.
Totally different. Okay. A new one. We're going
Okay.
on to a new confession. So this girl says, I was cheating on my boyfriend and left the Plan B package in my car from someone I hooked up with and blamed it on my best friend's little sister.
Wait, no. Oh my God. That is insane.
Yeah. I feel like you get more stressed whenever I share things about like someone's confessing that they're cheating rather than like if I explain a story where someone got cheated
100%. Because I'm like,
Yeah.
hello.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you okay? Like, what happened? Do you love your boyfriend?
Well, here's my thing with that is I like to keep my life simple. So Joe's in my life because he's my boyfriend. That's where I get sex from and that's where I get my like comfort from.
Simple.
I don't want to have all these extra people in my life. So like if I'm banging someone else or multiple other people, like what's my use for Joe now?
I'm also curious how old these people are because in college, I get it. Time-wise, like logistically, I get it. After college, like I guess once you enter like late 20s, it's like genuinely how do you have time? Like,
Well, I also think
I
some
don't get
people
it.
get off on like the fact that you're not supposed to be doing it,
yeah, 100%.
which I personally don't get because I have anxiety
Yeah.
and I'd be worried all day, every day about someone finding out.
I literally like, okay, this is actually a really good confession. I've never told anyone this. This still eats me alive. I've never cheated on anyone. I like have actually like a big issue with cheating for reasons. But a boy in high school one time like gave me a shoulder massage in my front yard. Like literally.
What? First of all, what?
He was like dropping me off and I felt like I had committed adultery. Like I couldn't sleep.
And
I was
you
so
were dating
upset.
someone
I was
else?
dating someone else.
Okay. I've cheated once.
You have? Tell us
It was here in New
everything.
York. I was dating someone that
New York's a good place
we
to
weren't
date.
like me and this guy were not having sex and regularly and we were long distance and like I think we both knew the relationship was dwindling but no one wanted to bring it up.
That's a hard phase to be in.
Yeah.
I will say.
We're just ignoring it, I think. And we didn't communicate a lot. Like this was when I was younger. And I came here, had a one-night stand with someone, and still eats me alive. That's the only time I've
Like,
cheated.
did you ever
And
tell him?
No.
Like I could not handle the crippling
Yeah.
guilt. But I'm like a guilty girl. I'm like a rule follower.
Yes.
Well,
Well, now I can say, like this was probably almost 5 years ago now, and
So
now I
you're
can
really
say it.
young.
But like I at the time, and I was so ashamed.
I'm
which
sure
I
you
still,
felt like sick.
I'm still ashamed, but I also like
Everyone
we
makes
broke up
mistakes.
like shortly after.
Yeah.
You know, because I
And
was
it sounds
like,
like
this
it
is
was like
obviously
on its way out anyways.
not working. Yeah, but it's still cheating.
Well,
I can make all the
I
excuses
just
in the
get
world, but
stressed. I
yeah.
get stressed for people because I'm like the first line is like, I cheated on my boyfriend, and that's not even the bad part of the story. But I hear I cheated on my boyfriend, and I'm like, God,
Yeah.
I gotta figure that out.
that's like the intro to
It
the
like
story.
stresses me
Yeah.
out.
But I have friends that are like that. I've had friends since college that are like that they find like power in maybe doing what they're
Yeah.
not supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Also, cheating is obviously different than like an open relationship or
Oh,
something.
for sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
But yeah, they weren't supposed to be doing.
Wow, blaming it on your sister or your sister's, what was it?
It's her best
sister's-
friend's little sister.
That's kind of
That's actually
hilarious.
thinking on your.
Yeah,
thinking
that's
on your
actually
feet.
pretty smart.
Yeah. That's
witty.
really. I wonder what like words she used.
Yeah.
She's like, oh yeah, it's just isn't that funny? It's so and so's little sister.
She's like, oh my God, can you believe that whore?
Exactly. Okay. This is an ongoing confession. This is something
Okay,
that this person does. I steal items at the grocery store, but then only pay for some items so to not make it obvious that the items I'm not paying for are being stolen.
Interesting.
So I guess it's like the self-checkout.
Must be.
Mm-hmm. I am
Again, things I could never do.
too much anxiety.
Like too much anxiety.
Yeah.
Also, like, I don't know, what are you stealing? Like a toothbrush? Like bread?
like an onion.
Probably like $6
Yeah.
max, unless you live in New York.
Well, I
then
feel like
kinda
again,
get
this
it.
is like some people get the thrill, like stealing.
Yeah,
is a thrill.
like Marissa in the OC.
yes,
I'm
exactly.
rewatching the OC right now, and
Okay.
she shoplifts, and it's like, but you're rich.
And she's like, I don't care. It's
It's
like
the thrill.
it's a thrill of stealing.
I accidentally stole a toothbrush from Randall's.
Mm-hmm.
If you live in Houston, it was the Randall's on Voss. Like I vividly remember walking out in the parking lot and being like, Dad. Like I was like, I literally thought there was gonna be a helicopter in
Yeah.
minutes.
Wait, I I have a funny story about this. It's not about me, but I was on a family trip with one of my friends from like, we were in middle school maybe. And she has a very, very, very strict family. It's like her coming on the trip at all was like,
she was on a trip
with my family. Yeah. We were like in Arkansas or something. My sister had a softball tournament and like we all went. That's very my family. We only travel to like softball stuff or baseball stuff. So we go to the mall one day and we're in a candy store and this girl steals like 2 not regular size Reese's, like mini Reese's cups, but they're like these teeny tiny little Reese's cups, and she takes them and eats one and puts one in her bag, which I'm like, first of all, weird. They're literally the size of like M&Ms.
She put it in her bag?
Yep, they were like little wrapped.
Oh, right.
I don't know what, they're like literally minis. So she gets chased down by mall security. It goes to mall jail.
Oh my God.
Stealing these 2 things. They had to call her mom.
That's
her mom
so
already
embarrassing.
thinks like my family, because at the time my family wasn't super overtly religious, and their family was, and like my mom was young and she's like doesn't give a fuck. Her mom was like so angry and like wanted us to send her home immediately. Mall jail. I will never forget going back to mall jail. And she's just like sitting there like,
mall jail is like unreal. I've never heard of mall
to
jail.
go.
Me either.
It happens. Okay, next.
That's really funny.
Blowjob.
Okay, love.
At the San Diego Zoo, there's a mini gondola that goes over the zoo. I gave someone a blowjob while we were above the gorilla during its feeding time.
Oh my God.
First of all, specific.
Yeah, like how did you know it was during the feeding time? Did you have like one eye open? Like
could you hear it?
Around? That's hilarious.
During the feeding time. So it smelled like poop.
Where was it? The San Diego Zoo?
San Diego Zoo. There's a mini gondola.
Well, I wonder if it was like an enclosed gondola or like a ski lift style gondola. I would assume an enclosed gondola.
I don't know.
Just always curious about logistics.
During feeding
like
time?
Yeah, during feed. Was it like intentional that you did it during feeding time?
Is that the goal?
Were you like trying to send some kind of message to the zoo?
When's the last time you went to a zoo?
The last time I went to the zoo was Zoo Lights. In Houston, they have this like Zoo Lights thing where they do like Christmas lights at the zoo. It was cool.
So like 6 months ago, 8 months ago?
Like a year ago.
Okay.
I like the zoo. How do you feel about the zoo?
I haven't been to the zoo in such a long time. There's a zoo in Central Park, isn't there?
Yeah.
We passed by it the other day.
I've passed by the zoo
zoos.
in Central Park, but it's kind of confusing like where to enter into the zoo.
Yeah,
so I've never really understood. I mean, I've passed by that.
I wonder where the word zoo comes from.
That's a great question.
You just said it so many times.
Saying like, it's the weirdest word in the English language, nurse. Really think about it. We were talking about like Botox actually.
Yeah.
We were like all saying who's gotten Botox and where and like swapping notes. And then one of my friends who's so funny was like, nurse is such a weird word. And like everyone else like didn't really pay attention to her. And I was like, yeah.
You went home and thought about it later.
I was in bed and I was like, nurse. But zoo is also a really weird word. Yeah. Like I wonder what the origin is. Like, oh, it's the study of animals is like zoology or something. It's probably zoology. Oh my God, today, actually speaking of confessions, so I started school this week, like grad school.
Yeah.
Like this semester, and grad school loves like introductions at the beginning of class, like giving like my name is Kimberly and like fill in the blank. Like you have to like say a fun fact. And this one girl was like, my name is blah, blah, blah. And I've been playing Sims every single day since I was 6. And she's built like a French villa and has like a whole neighborhood. And like, she's like really ingrained in these people's lives. Like she's been playing every day since she was 6.
That's my dream.
Yeah.
For sure. I have a confession.
Okay.
Josh, you can take this out if I'm not allowed to talk about illegal activity.
Oh my God.
This is actually not really a confession because I probably told you. Someone gave me mushrooms the other day and I've like enjoyed microdosing mushrooms before.
Yeah.
Just makes you a little elevated and happy.
Yeah.
Please don't do drugs if you're not, in the right mindset. I'm not promoting drug use. Okay.
Disclaimer.
But I took some chocolate mushrooms the other day and I was actually tripping.
Like scary?
I wasn't scared because I was with Joe and he was like, he's my
Where
like,
were
rock.
y'all?
I was at like this club night one of the brands I was with had, and I was dying because it reminds me of Sims in this weird way where like I kept saying to Joe, I was like, I can see the grid. Can you see the grid? Like I saw the planes of existence and he's like, yeah, we need to go home.
He's like, it's time to leave.
I'm like, the grid is right there. Like I was like minimizing the grid. It was smaller and
all
then it was
people
bigger.
On TikTok that are like, the a glitch in the my brother always says
No, I literally
a glitch in the matrix. It's
I
a glitch in
felt
the matrix.
I felt it.
That's scary. That would freak me out. I would have to go home.
I was having the best time. I was like, I knew it. I knew the grid. He's like, it's okay. It's time to go.
We're leaving
Let's go.
now.
Okay. Let's see. This one is kind of like, this makes me nervous. Okay. I have a girlfriend who has a very intense personality. She can be very inflexible about things and not super nice in how she goes about navigating both friendships and romantic relationships. We all have one.
Yep.
Well, she's dating this new guy who happens to be a 10 in literally every category possible. We were all hanging out at a concert and she was annoying me and also being really nasty to him. When she went to the bathroom with another girlfriend and left him and I alone, I definitely alluded to the fact that she was being a bitch to see if he'd say anything about it. He laughed and we ended up flirting a bit whenever she wasn't around. I'm by no means hung up on him or wanting to be with him, but it's such a shame that this perfect man is being wasted on my girlfriend.
Really good confession.
Yeah.
That was a really good confession.
There's so many angles because you're like, the girlfriend sounds like she sucks. And then I'm like, but you're flirting with.
But you know what?
Yeah.
It's really hard to be a bystander to two people who aren't a good match. If you love both of them.
Yeah.
Even if one of them, you know their flaws. And like that girl, like I have some friends like that who just like are really intense and like demand a lot of, you know, whatever. Like
I have a tendency to have very demanding friends.
Yeah, like we all have some. And like they find people who just for some reason it just works.
Yeah.
But sometimes it just isn't working. And it really sucks when you're watching a friend, especially if it's like an awesome guy where you're like, damn it. Like,
yeah.
Another one bites the dust. I've been there. Yeah, you're like, oh.
I feel like I just don't know. I couldn't really, if it's someone's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Like my friend's boyfriend, even if she's being a bitch, I wouldn't say that that's my friend anymore if I'm flirting with her boyfriend.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Well, also for me, like whenever my friends start dating people, they instantly almost become like a girl in my eyes. Like I feel so comfortable around them. I'm like, I don't like the flirting thing, like isn't really like there. But I'm curious how close she is with this girl.
I mean, it seems like she's like around them a lot.
But that was a really good confession because I know what you mean where like something you kind of have a moment with someone and it was like neither of your intention.
But it seems like
but
it was
you're
her
kind
intention.
of like, it kind of seems like it. Well, I'm trying to give this girl the benefit of the doubt, Payton.
I mean, everyone's human. Everyone does stuff.
Also,
like,
I think like while I say I'm like very anti-cheating, I think that flirting is the most natural human interaction. Like I kind of flirt with everyone.
Yeah, how you Laurel, our mutual friend, flirts with everyone. Yeah,
I feel
girls,
like I
guys,
with everyone,
moms, dads.
Kind of flirt with everyone. Like I feel like it's just like a way of like flattery and like connecting. So I like girls. I feel like this is something that happens when you're younger. You get really hung up on like a boy, like I saw so and so's boyfriend flirting, and it's like everyone flirts.
Fine,
it's like
whatever.
a natural like it just kind of happens, and then it's like if you're lingering on it, that's different. Or if it's like a recurring thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know I feel for this girl.
Yeah. You're like, I know what you mean.
I know what you mean.
Okay, so I have two more and they're fast.
Okay.
Because I have to include these. All right. So my ex left me for another girl that we had both been friends with. And so I hacked his Snapchat and messaged her that things weren't working out.
Wait, what does she mean?
So she meant like she hacked her ex's Snapchat.
I missed the word hacked.
And sent to this girl that he like left her for and said and like broke up with her.
Oh my God. That is like
savage.
Evil genius.
Savage.
That is savage. Savage.
I've never hacked into anyone's Snapchat.
I don't even know how to hack into a Snap. Like, I'm so old. I'm like, hack into Snapchat. That's why I didn't
have the app anymore. Yeah.
That is savage.
Savage.
But like, wouldn't they speak in person and then like figure out that that wasn't her?
That would be so embarrassing to be the girl that hacked the Snapchat.
I've had a boy's girlfriend in high school get on his Facebook and chat me and like try to get me to say incriminating things. It's looking at me. It was an older girl and it was like actually so bitchy because like her boyfriend, I don't know, had a crush on me or something. Like I was not really aware of the situation. And he like messaged me on Facebook and was like, hey, Kimberly, how was your day today? And I was like, this is so fucking weird. I was like, hey, blank. Like, it was good. How was your day? Like, I was just like responding.
Yes.
And this is back when like Facebook Messenger was like before we texted really. It was like, I guess we did text, but Facebook Messenger was like your primary mode of communication.
Yes. It's like the new Snapchat.
Yeah.
Or was the
that's
old
like
Snapchat.
the old version of Snapchat. Exactly. And he like was saying stuff like, I think that you're really cute. Would you ever like be into that? And it was like so obviously a girl with all of her friends.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I found out. I think that one of her friends like drunkenly told me like way later in college.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, wow.
That gives me the ick.
What a bitch.
Like friend ick.
Friend ick.
Okay, so the last one's short and sweet. I hooked up with my stepbrother.
Oh no.
Doesn't she do that in Clueless, the movie?
Wait.
Isn't that guy her stepbrother?
Stepbrother or half brother?
Stepbrother, not half brother.
Which one is which? I get really confused.
Stepbrother is like you're not actually related, like by blood.
Okay. Oh my God, I'm so relieved. I was like, someone needs to find this girl. Still, that is really, really wild.
Mm-hmm.
I know someone who married her stepbrother.
See, the thing is, I get that you're not related like that.
I think I butchered that. I don't know. Maybe it's like her ex stepbrother.
But it's
or
just
something.
that it feels weird still, because
That is
anytime the word brother can be
crazy.
attached to that person's relation to
Yeah.
you, I just am scared.
I just it's so there's so many like dynamics going on. There's so much that could go wrong there, but like you can't just drop that bomb on us. Like we need to know like how did it happen? Was it like are y'all under the same roof or are y'all in college or out of college? Like
I don't know.
did you grow up together? Like did you grow up in the same household or like do you know them very well? Like you know.
Yes.
Like half siblings can be a really wide variety of dynamics.
Yes. Well, step sibling.
I mean, sorry, step siblings.
Because half siblings when you share a parent.
Right. But step siblings, like that could mean that your parents got married when you were both in college and then like you've literally hung out 3 times.
Yes.
Or it can mean you literally grew up under the same roof.
How odd would that be if you like started dating the brother that you were living with?
That's
you like went back for the holidays.
Insane. That's a really good confession though.
That is a really good
good
confession.
one to end on.
A great one to end on.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you for sharing. I really enjoyed that.
Also,
but
I
I
like
want
that
more information.
we inlaid like a number of confessions of our own in this.
Yeah. Seriously, y'all learned a lot.
We've got some confessions. But thank you for coming on today.
Of course.
You'll
Thank
come
you
back.
for having me.
And y'all please send me more confessions. I have a like Google Forms link in the show notes. There's also one for most embarrassing stories. There's also one for like just like lovey-dovey things with your boyfriend, things like that. So we've got a whole assortment of things we can talk about.
Yay.
Like I just like to get listener information and know
I
more about
love
it.
hearing like people's things.
Me too.
Like
I'm like proud of y'all for your confessions because they weren't vanilla.
oh my God, they were absolutely not vanilla. Also,
Y'all
I'm
are
not
intense.
judging anyone with my reactions. I'm a very reactive person. I can't really help it.
Well, also like
And you're putting it
no
out there.
judgment.
You obviously
you can
know
do
it was
whatever you
bad.
want. It's not my business.
Yeah.
But it's
I
hilarious.
want to know more about Sugar Daddy Girl. I just
Okay.
want some like information.
Okay, Sugar Daddy Girl, can you give us some more info on the form?
Yeah.
On the form that is linked that you already
And
submitted to?
Stepbrother Girl. Half
Stepbrother Girl. We need some information.
Go watch Clueless. If you're like Gen Z, go watch Clueless right now.
That's what always irked me about that movie a little
Yeah,
bit. I was
you're
like,
like, wait,
what's happening right now?
You're like,
such a mainstream
holy
classic
shit.
movie. Yeah. Anyways, all right.
They really paved the way for other step siblings though.
They really did.